Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski. I've been playing Pokemon MMOs for over 10 years, and I've put over 7,000, 8,000, thousands of hours into them, and I love Pokemon MMOs in all their glory. And today, I'm going to be talking about PokeForce, and I think what they've released is one of the most transparent, honest plans and goals and behind the scenes strategies for dealing with copyright that I've ever seen with Pokemon MMOs. And that's just something that comes up with Pokemon MMOs and having to deal with that, having to deal with Nintendo. It's a scary thing. One of the biggest questions I get asked with new players coming to Pokemon is like, hey, I'm scared that all my progress will get wiped out. I'm scared that Nintendo will take it down, yada yada. And it's a fair question. I understand that, right? But PokeForce has went ahead and answered a lot of these questions better than I've ever seen. And I keep hyping up PokeForce. I will say we have to wait and see what PokeForce actually does. They're doing a lot of talking, a lot of great stuff, and they are kind of making all the right decisions, but the game's not even out yet. We have a long way to see if PokeForce will actually be as incredible as it seems, but it's doing a pretty damn good job. So let's jump into it. This is their FAQ for copyright stuff. Fan games frequently face shutdowns. So what is the plan for PokeForce in the event of a DMCA takedown? We have taken all necessary measures to ensure that our operations comply with the law. When downloading the PokeForce client, you'll be prompted to provide the ROMs for Fire Red or Leaf Green, and the client will extract the required data for downloading copyrighted assets. As a result, we will not be distributing any of Nintendo's intellectual property when launching or during our tech demos. This is the same as PokeMMO. It's the same kind of, I don't want to call it a loophole, but legal way that you're able to use legally acquired ROMs. They're not supplying them to sort of supply and implement a pretty traditional Pokemon experience, which is really cool to see. But can't they still take action against you based on the fact that PokeForce is based on their intellectual property? No. As mentioned earlier, we are operating within the boundaries of copyright law. We offer a client that can read and manipulate ROMs at runtime. Emulators are considered legal, and PokeForce can be viewed as an emulator when its code is analyzed and broken down. But you're accepting payments. Isn't that illegal? ? No, it would only be illegal if we were restricting access to the copyrighted IP or implementing paywalls. For instance, if we required payment to use Charizard, that would be against the law. Our monetization policies are limited to custom-made cosmetics and account perks, such as increased farming speeds or double Pokeyen on battles. All right. Okay, it's all clear now. However, considering Nintendo's aggressive approach, what would happen if the court payments became unmanageable and if running the game is no longer worth it? They are really, I want to talk on my own for a second. They are really going, these are the questions that I get on stream, in chronological order, perfectly. I feel like when they run through questions like this, they're showing that they understand the average player's thought process in answering one question in following the other. It's perfect chronological order of how these questions would pop up into your head, and I feel like it's a really good understanding of they actually know what their players are thinking. All right, let's actually answer that question about Nintendo's aggressive approach. If the situation arises where the court payments become unmanageable or running the game is no longer viable, we would choose to open source the client and server, and in such scenario, the project would proceed to its conclusion and the method of completion would no longer be a concern for me personally. I think that's a really fair, really realistic approach that I think any Pokemon MMO should take, and you can only hope PokeMMO would do the same. Wouldn't open sourcing the project be considered illegal in violation of copyright laws? No, there is no reference to Pokemon in the client or server code, and it's all original code using libgdx. I don't know about coding to know what that means, but we have the right to release it as we deem appropriate without infringing on any copyright issues. What sets it apart from fan games like ROM hacks or projects utilizing Pokemon Essentials? Simply put, these games distribute copyright assets by providing links that contain assets copyrighted by Nintendo. This distribution is legal. In contrast, PokeForce requires users to provide their own legally obtained ROMs. The source of the ROM is inconsequential to us as long as it is obtained legally and does not involve any downloading anything malicious. Of course. We have some more things that I have to scroll down for. Assuming Nintendo doesn't take any action, everything is going well. However, if circumstances such as lack of funds or personal injury prevent the game's release, it may not be possible to complete the project. If circumstances prevent the game's release, we would choose to open source the project, kind of similar situation, yada yada. All right. We have successfully launched with active accounts and cherished Pokemon. What would happen if the game were to shut down? If the game were to shut down, you would have the opportunity to obtain a copy of your account. Your data belongs to you, and you request a copy of it after verifying your ownership at any time you desire. I think that's really, really cool. Once again, just sort of verifying, hey, worst case scenario, don't worry, your progress will be saved. You can continue in a single player format if you so choose, yada, yada. I think this is all really cool. This is all pretty like standard basic stuff, but they compiled this list. They compiled the FAQ, the questions. I think, once again, it really shows they understand what the players are worried about. And when you understand your players' concerns as a game developer, that goes a really long way. There are so many game devs who are just checked out or are so detached, they don't actually understand the community's needs. So I don't know, really solid foundation being built for PokeForce over here. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed seeing the information on it. Subscribe for more videos covering PokeForce, as it has like a full 1 year like sort of plan for release, still a long way away, but dislike if not, that's okay. Subscribe to the channel for daily Pokemon MMO videos, and that's it for me. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Peace, Reno.